Hello besties! It is Becky here with Bestie Becky's Crafts, and today I will be doing a tutorial on how to make this really pretty card. And we are going to use a special technique, and it uses vellum. I know we don't use vellum very often because it's such a delicate paper and it's not the cheapest thing, but this is a really fun technique and I hope that you'll give it a try. So let's go ahead and get started. So I chose a stamp set from In Love Arch Stamps, and it is called, get my Misty out, my Misty is like a mess, so I apologize. But we're going to be using this stamp set called Plant Leaf Flowers, and also the What a Day word set stamps. So I already have my Plant Leaf Flowers stamp set in my Misty already lined up, and my magnets, and I use, oh gosh, this is even terrible. Oh, this is a scratch piece of paper. Oh, didn't think to change that out. And these are just sheets. I don't know if you've ever done this, but you buy them in the quilting section, and you can cut them out in different sizes and use them to line up your words. And like this one, I found the center and stuff. So this is a kind of neat idea. You lay it down. Well, here, I'll put a piece of scratch. Right. You lay it down on top of your paper, and you place it where you want on here, and you put your stamp on here, and then when you push this over and push down, it picks up your stamp, and this will be stuck to it. You just peel this off. Your paper's where you want it, your stamp's where you want it, and I don't know, it's just really nice. Yeah. So anyway, I cut a piece of vellum that is 4.5 inches by 6.5 inches, and I'm going to go ahead and lay it down on my extremely messy Misty, and put some magnets down to hold my vellum in place. Make sure my magnets aren't going to get in the way. Alright, now we're going to use Versamark ink. So here's my Versamark ink pad, and we're going to stamp. We're going to ink this stamp up really good, because there's a lot of detail in this stamp, and we don't want to miss out on any of that detail. So I like over stamp it, ink it. I go different ways, all kinds of stuff. Hope I'm not shaking you there. Alright, so it should be all inked up. I'm going to use my little embossing buddy here, powder thing, to make sure that no embossing powder sticks where I don't want it to, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp, and I'm going to press down. I press down pretty hard to make sure that I get it all covered, get every little detail from that stamp. Surprised I haven't broken a Misty yet. Okay, so when I think I've gotten it all covered, I lift up. Ooh, I did good. Alright, so I'm going to take off my vellum, put my Misty to the side, and I don't want that Versamark to, really stay on my stamp for too long, so I go ahead and put like I have a stamp chamois thing. I put it on my stamp until I can get to clean it. Alright, so I have this pretty little image on my vellum. I don't think you can see it, but it's there, I promise. You're going to see it here in a second. So I just use a piece of white copy paper, fold it in half, and then I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle my embossing powder. And this one happens to have some glitter or something in it of some sort. Make sure I got everything covered here. Didn't miss any spots. I don't think so. Looks pretty good. Tap off the excess. Alright. And now I'm going to pour this back into my container. So I just fold it up and pour it back in there. You can see that. Oop, make a mess. You don't want to make a mess. Alright. I did make a mess. I can't help but make a mess without embossing powder or glitter, can you? So that's when you just get one of those Swiffer cloths and just wipe over the area and it picks all that up. Okay, so now you can see my image here. Alright, you see that? Now let's heat emboss it. And it shouldn't take too long because it is vellum. And you have to be careful with vellum to not burn it, and it might have a tendency to warp a little bit. So I'm going to heat it, my heat gun first, and then we'll go to the embossing. So I apologize for the noise, but it won't take long for the magic to happen, right? And it doesn't take long for it to heat up. I just kind of go over the front. And I'll go over the back, and let's see if we can get it to start turning. And when it does, it goes pretty fast. Like it's starting to turn already. It's getting shiny and glittery and warm on my fingers. So let's turn it. There we go. And I think we got it all. So I'm just going to kind of go over the back side. Just to kind of make sure we didn't warp it any. And I'm going to look. Looks like it warped some, but that's pretty normal. We'll take care of that when we glue it. And make sure that we got our image all embossed. And we did. We did good. Okay. So we are finished with our heat gun for now. So now let's do some fun. Alright. So here's what the image looks like when it's all in heat embossed with the gold. And I used Stampin' Stuff embossing powder called Jeweled Gold. I'm not sure where I got it, but it has like glitter pieces in it. I don't know if you can see that. Got kind of like glitter pieces in it, and it's gold. I don't know. Alright, so now we're going to color it. So we're going to flip our image and we're going to color it on the back side. And I know, what? You're going to color on the back side? So I'm going to use alcohol-based markers to color. And they do take just a little bit to dry, but not too long, and they blend. I don't know if water-based markers work, but I know that the alcohol-based ones do. So let's color some leaves first. And I'm going to start with my light color, and I picked YG07, and let's go ahead and just color these up here. And the nice thing is you don't have to be like super careful to stay in the line because you have that embossing powder on the outside. Alright, so go ahead and color our leaf, and then I'm going to take a darker color, and in this case I'm going to use YG09, and I'm going to go back in, turn it here so I can see it, and where I would shade, I'm going to run that around. Alright, I would shade my leaf. And then I'm going to go back to the lighter color, which was the YG07, and I'm going to go over it again and kind of blend that all out. Do the same over here. Quiet, I can't color and talk at the same time. And then when you flip it over, it's not quite dry yet, but you can see it gives it that nice soft effect. Isn't that pretty? So let's do a flower. I know you don't want to watch me color like everything, but I'm going to do my base in, base of my flower in RV04. So let's just do this small one, and hopefully I can color them kind of quick. And it's funny, it makes a noise when you're coloring because of the vellum. Can you hear it? Okay, so there's the lighter color, and then I'm going to come back in with a darker color, and I'm going to use RV09, and I'm just going to flick the color out from the center on each petal. I can flick it out as far into the petal as I want, or as little as I want. Going to give it some dimension, kind of a cool effect on the other side. Alright, and then I'm going to come back in with my lighter color, my RV04, and I'm going to blend it out. So I'm just going to go over top of it and blend it out. And I put a piece of white paper underneath of it so that I could see where I embossed. You could use any embossing color you wanted. You wouldn't have to use gold. And then my last petal here. Alright. Now I'm not doing the center of my flower because I'm going to, you see that? Isn't that pretty? So pretty. And then there's like these little wave things on the stamp. Swirls. I thought I'd just do those in a lighter pink color. So I'm just using RV02. And we'll go ahead and just do some of those. Like I said, it's really light, but just to kind of highlight it. I love that sound. Then I would let it dry a little bit, and this one's drying pretty fast. And I would go over it again. Just to kind of highlight it. You can see it. Just like that. And then there's some berries on there. And I decided I'm just going to go ahead and do those in my dark pink color, RV09. So just color them in, just like so. Alright. So those are the colors I'm going to use to color. And I'm going to leave the centers of the flowers blank, because I'm going to put gems over those like I did in my card here. And I'll go ahead and finish coloring this, and then I'll come on back, because I don't think you want to watch me color this whole thing. That would be really exciting. So, like I said, I'll go ahead and finish color, and I shall be right back. Hello, besties! I'm back, and I am done coloring. Didn't that turn out pretty? Alright, so this is what it looks like from the front. Super pretty. And that's what it looks like on the back. Not so pretty. So, the next thing we're going to do is I cut a piece of white cardstock the same width as my vellum and a little bit longer. And because it's a little bit longer is just so that I can trim it and I have some wiggle room on placing my vellum. So when you're gluing down your vellum, you don't want to put glue where it could be seen. And that's kind of the trick of vellum. So what I have done is I made a little frame to go around my vellum. And this is so I can put glue around the outer edge of my vellum, maybe a few, little spots on behind the flowers or the leaves to hold it down. This is so I get my vellum nice and stuck, I guess is the way to put it. So what I did was I happened to be my largest rectangle die just happened to be the right size. And so I just cut out the die, and then I just cut, how do I explain this? Let me grab my die real quick. Okay, so I used my largest rectangle die, as you can see, fits right in there, and I cut it out on the piece of pink that I wanted, alright, and it wasn't, super straight or anything, which wasn't a huge deal, because then I took my paper cutter and I just wanted a 1/4 inch on on 3 sides. So I just lined up where I had cut on the 1/4 inch mark and cut. I did that on 3 sides, and then I left one side a little bit longer, but I measured it for my card size, because my card base, I'm just jumping all over the place here, aren't I? I'm going to totally lose you. Okay, so here is my card base. Okay? My card base is 8.5, if I remember correctly. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. 8 1/4 inches tall. And then my width is 10.5 inches long. Okay? So I folded it in half at the 10.5 inch side. So that gives us a card width of 5.25 inches by the 8.25. Alright, have I lost you? Alright, hope not. So then, to kind of jazz it up, tie things together, and I hope this isn't too shiny. Oh, you can see me. Ooh, let's scoot back. Okay, so I wanted to tie the gold from our vellum into the card. So I cut a piece of gold paper so that I have 1/8 of an inch around all 4 edges. So this is cut to 5 inches by 8 inches. Alright. And then this frame is going to go on top with my vellum underneath. Okay? Like so. And like I said, I left this white piece long so that I can trim it and I don't have to be so precise in my placement of my vellum onto this. But I cut this mat to 1/8 of an inch shy on each side of the gold. So it happens to be 4 3/4 inches wide by 7 3/4 inches long. Alright. Got that? So, like I said, I had used my largest rectangle die to cut out the middle. Now I didn't get rid of this piece that I cut out. I saved it. So, I saved this piece that was cut out and I'm going to use it on the inside of my card. Because then I use the next smaller die and cut out a white piece for my sentiment. And you'll see all that in a minute. Alright, so let's do some backtracking. I guess I'm just trying to explain to you why I cut stuff the size as I did. So let's go ahead and let's glue this vellum on. Alright, so I'm going to use 1/8 of an inch tearaway tape along the edge of the vellum, and I mean right up against that edge. Now remember, it's going to be covered by our frame. So let's get it up here just as close as we can. And as I put it down, kind of smoothing out the vellum. Didn't that turn out pretty, all colored? Alright, so we're going along, right along that edge. And one more left. Alright. And there we go. Okay. So we've got all our edges covered with that 1/8 of an inch tape. And I'm going to use my tape runner and I'm just going to put tape on a few of the petals where it's colored and you're not going to see it, and this will help hold it down in the center. So it doesn't, I don't know, wiggle around in the center. I don't know. Okay, so now that we have our tearaway tape down. I'm just making sure it's got a good bond on there. I'm going to go ahead and peel the top piece off, maybe. I'm going to go ahead and peel the top piece off, and I'm going to get the side pieces started. And you've seen me do this before. Get my side pieces started, and then I'll pull that paper away as I go along. Alright. Okay. So, I'm going to line the top of my vellum as close to the top of this piece that I cut as I can. Like I said, if it's not perfect, it's not that big of a deal because we can trim it. I'm not worried. Okay, so we've got that. Okay, and now I want to get my vellum as flat as I can, because remember I said that vellum can warp a little bit while you're doing that heat embossing and all that stuff. So we want to make sure that we get a good taping down, I guess, so we get those bumps out if there's any. And that's why I decided to do it this way with my tearaway tape. Okay. Alright, so that looks pretty good. And I could touch this, no problem, because it's already heat embossed, it's set. My coloring's on the back side, it's not a big deal. And I should have got my tearaway tape on the bottom started. Oh well, I got it. Okay, so there's my tearaway tape on the bottom. Just pulling it out and trying to get it as flat as I can. Okay, looking good. Okay, got a little bit of a crease there, but we just work it out. Okay, I'm looking good. And if you can hear the weed eater, I'm sorry, my neighbor's decided to mow his lawn. Of course, when I want to videotape. Alright, so now we need to glue on our frame. And this is where we will center our flowers. And you'll see I'll probably have to cut some off the top and some off the bottom. Not a big deal at all. Alright. And this time, I think I'm just going to use my art glitter glue to put it on. So I just need a very tiny bead of glue. I could use tearaway tape if I wanted. Not, you know, really a big deal. I'm going to turn it this way so that I can make sure that I'm centered. And that looks pretty good. And I'm just going to push it down. Alright. You're like, oh, but what about the bottom? I'm just going to lift it up and make sure that I have glue close to all those edges and in there. See that? And then I'm just going to push it back down. Just like so. Awesome! Except I got glue everywhere. But that's okay. Okay. Everything's glued down. Yes. Alright, so let's do some trimming. Let me put my pen back in my art glitter glue so we don't dry out. Just grabbing my scissors. I'm going to trim along the top. And I'm going to trim along the bottom. We're pretty close on one side, but I think we're alright. Take my bone folder there. It's not. My art glitter glue kind of made it lumpy there. Not sure if I like that. But there are always ways to fix things. And I think I need to get a little bit closer up here on the top. So I'm going to grab my other scissors and get nice and close. Because I got the white sticking up. Well, come on. There we go. Okay, that's better. Alright, so now let's do some more glue in here. And take our card base, and I'm going to take my piece of gold and I'm going to glue it on, and I'm just going to use my 3-in-1 glue here. Again, you could use, you know, your tearaway tape glue, whatever glue you like. I just, you know, happen to like this glue because it gives me a little extra wiggle room. Time. Push that down. Hopefully we're centered. Looks pretty good. And I'm going to open it up when I want to rub the back. Kind of remove that glue around. Don't get any funny lines. I'm trying to hide so you can't see me. Alright, and I'm going to put glue on the back of my vellum piece. I think I'm running low on my glue here. There we go. Okay. Make sure that I've got it going the right way there. I don't know if I've ever put cards on the wrong way, but I sure don't want to start now. Okay, so I'm going to put this piece on, center it. Alright, I'm really not digging that, so I'm going to have to figure out a little something different to do there. Okay. So, remember I had those two pieces that I cut? And these are for the inside of my card. I'm going to go ahead and glue with a white mat for, you know, cinnamon or whatever you want to write in your card. I'm going to go ahead and glue that on top of our pink mat here. Go ahead and put glue on the back. And glue on the inside. I think I'm going to try and kind of center it. Alright. Close it up and rub the back there. Alright. And then I had gone ahead and I was going to do a sign that says Miss You. I could put it up further, and that would cover that up. Yep, let's do that. Okay. So what I did was I stamped with my Versamark ink the Miss You from the What a Day stamp set from In Love Arts, and I embossed it with the same embossing powder as I did the flowers. So it says Miss You, and then I just cut it out, rounded the corners, and then cut it a piece to mat it on. So I'm going to glue that to the front. And I went ahead and already heat embossed that and everything, because you need to see, watch me do that again. Oop, got crooked there. Okay. And now I'm going to put some glue. And I'm going to center it along that edge to help hide those waves. There we go. Alright. And then I'm going to go ahead and glue on my Created with Love on the back while I'm doing all this gluing, and before I put on the bling, which is the absolute best part. So Created with Love. And I'm going to go ahead and color that in, that little heart, with my RV04. Just going to tie things all together. Okay. I can put some Winkostella on that if wanted. Alright, so I chose some pink bling, and I'm going to get my art glitter glue out because it's got that tiny tip on it, you know. And I want to put some glue in the center of each of my flowers. And what color should I go with? You know what? I think I might go with that darker color. The big flower, I'm going to put a big bling. And then the medium-sized flower, put some medium-sized bling. And then the small one, some small bling. And if you wanted, you could put, oops, stuck to my finger. You could put Winkostella on this side of the vellum. It won't mess with the alcohol ink at all. And then let's put a dot on each side of the Miss You. And I'm going to do the medium-sized bling. There we go. Alright. I think that turned out pretty. So, that is our card for today. So you learned how to use vellum, color on the back of vellum to give you this nice feeling. It's a little softer. And here's the purple one, so you can compare. And this one I used a little bit different gold. I didn't use as shiny of a gold. Just kind of wanted to see what the difference would look like. And of course you know why we moved this one up, because the paper got wavy there. And this one is fine. And this one on the inside. Let me see. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Make sure that you check out In Love Art shop. I will leave links below in the description part. Oh, can't talk now. And I will also tell you what stamps I used and links to those stamps. There will be a discount code If you use that discount code, you will get a discount on what you buy. And I also want to mention that I have a Facebook group called Fun Life on a Budget featuring Bestie Becky. And so I'd like you to go check that out. It's a fun group. We do lots of swaps, and it's a really nice group of ladies. So go check that out too. And there will be a link in my description box for that too. So if you have any questions about today's project, leave that in the comments section, and I'll be more than happy to answer that for you. Give me a thumbs up if you like what you saw today, and subscribe. And that's it for today. So thanks for stopping by, and happy crafting. Bye.